I never thought a simple game could ruin everything I believed about my marriage. That night, our living room was filled with laughter, cheap wine, and the kind of comfort that only long friendships create. My wife, Emily, was sitting cross-legged on the carpet beside me, her smile wide and her cheeks pink from the drink. We'd invited 2 couples from our neighborhood for what was supposed to be a light-hearted game night. Nothing serious, just truth or dare, nostalgia, and noise to fill the silence that had started to stretch between us lately. It had been months since Emily and I truly connected. We talked about bills, the dog, dinner plans, everything except each other. Still, that night, for a while, it felt like we were back to the easy rhythm we once had. She looked alive again, glowing under the soft yellow lamp, her laughter echoing through the room. I didn't know then that glow came from something darker. The game started harmlessly. Silly dares, embarrassing stories, a few harmless secrets. But as the hours passed and the bottle emptied, the questions got bolder, the laughter louder. When it was Ben's turn, our friend and next-door neighbor, he leaned forward, eyes glassy, and said with a grin, "Emily, truth or dare?" "Truth," she said, giggling. He smirked. "What's something you've never told anyone? Not even your husband?" Everyone laughed, whistled, waiting for her to blush and dodge. But Emily didn't. She bit her lip, looked down at the carpet, and for a split second, something flickered across her face. Not embarrassment, not humor, fear. Then she looked at me. Our eyes met, and my stomach twisted. "Can we skip?" she whispered, half smiling, but her voice trembled. Ben chuckled. "Come on, Em, you can't skip. That's the rule." The room buzzed with teasing voices, encouraging her. Finally, she sighed. "Fine," she said, voice soft, barely audible. "But I'll only whisper it." Everyone leaned forward in anticipation, expecting something funny or mildly scandalous. Instead, Emily leaned toward me, her breath warm against my ear, and whispered 7 words that froze me in place. "I slept with someone while we were married." The sound of laughter around us blurred, like it was coming from underwater. My heart stopped. I pulled back, looking at her, waiting for a smirk, a hint of a joke. There was none. Her eyes were glassy, her lips trembling slightly. She didn't look drunk. She looked relieved. I don't remember the next few minutes clearly. Maybe I laughed. Maybe I said something sarcastic. I must have, because no one noticed. The game went on, the music played, and Emily acted like nothing happened. But I couldn't move. Every nerve in my body screamed. My wife, the woman I'd shared a life with for 9 years, had whispered her betrayal like it was part of a party trick. When everyone finally left, the house fell silent. Empty glasses cluttered the coffee table, and the faint smell of wine lingered in the air. Emily started cleaning, humming softly, like we hadn't just set fire to our marriage. I watched her. Every movement felt rehearsed, controlled. She must have seen my face because she stopped and said, "You weren't supposed to take it seriously. It was just part of the game." But her voice broke at the end. "Who?" I asked, my throat dry. She hesitated. "It doesn't matter. It was a mistake." Mistake. The word hung between us, heavy, poisonous. I wanted to shout, to demand the truth, but something inside me snapped differently. I just stared. I realized I didn't even want to know who. The who wasn't the problem. The real betrayal was that she'd carried it, hidden it, smiled through dinners and vacations like nothing had happened, and only let it out because a game forced her hand. That night I didn't sleep. I lay awake beside her, feeling the distance like a physical wall. She slept facing away, her breathing slow, steady, peaceful. I envied her for that. By morning, I knew what I had to do. When the first rays of sunlight crept through the curtains, I was already dressed. The coffee pot hissed quietly in the kitchen, and for the first time in years, I didn't pour a second cup for her. Emily came down, hair messy, wearing one of my old shirts, the same one she used to sleep in back when things were easy. She looked at me cautiously, searching my face for anger. She didn't find it. I was done giving her that power. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said finally, voice small. It just happened. And it didn't mean anything. It meant enough to hide it, I replied. My voice didn't shake, and that scared her more than if I'd shouted. It meant enough to keep it secret until a game forced it out. She tried to speak again, but I raised a hand. Don't. Don't insult me with excuses. The silence stretched. Outside, the world carried on like nothing had happened. Birds chirped, cars passed, life moved forward, everything except us. I looked at her then, really looked, and realized I didn't recognize the woman in front of me. The one I'd loved had vanished somewhere between late nights at work and the secrets she never confessed. By noon, I was gone. I didn't take much, just a duffel bag, my laptop, and the wedding photo that now felt like a cruel joke. I checked into a small hotel by the interstate, the kind where no one asks questions and everyone looks like they're hiding something. That night, I scrolled through our photos, our texts, our life. Every smile, every caption, every "I love you" felt like a lie carved into pixels. 2 days later, she called. 23 missed calls, to be exact. When I finally picked up, she sounded frantic. James, please, we need to talk. There's nothing left to talk about. You're just going to throw everything away? She cried. No, I said quietly. You did. She fell silent. For once, there was no argument left in her voice, just breathing, soft and broken. It was Ben, she whispered finally. It happened once. I hated myself for it. I swear I did. The world spun again, but not with the same fury as before. This time it was just empty. You could have told me, I said. I would have respected honesty more than this lie. I was scared, she said. You were drifting away. He was there. I made a mistake. I almost laughed. You made a choice. After that call, something shifted inside me. The pain was still there, raw and jagged, but beneath it was clarity. Betrayal doesn't just destroy trust. It rewires how you see someone. I wasn't her husband anymore. I was a chapter she ruined and wanted to skip past. A week later, I met Ben at the grocery store. He froze when he saw me, a cart between us like a shield. James, man, listen. I didn't let him finish. Save it. You don't get to talk to me. Ever. I walked away, leaving him pale and shaking. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt freedom, like I had finally stepped out of a fog that had been blinding me for years. When I returned home that night to grab the last of my things, Emily was sitting on the couch, staring at our empty living room. The same room where laughter once lived, where secrets were whispered. She looked up at me, tears running down her face. Can we start over? She asked. I'll do anything. I stood there for a long moment, thinking about everything we had built and everything she had burned. No, I said softly. Some words can't be unheard. I left the house without looking back. The air outside felt colder, sharper, but real. I walked until my legs ached, until the ache in my chest turned into something else. Acceptance. Now, months later, I sometimes catch myself replaying that night in my head. The laughter, the whisper, the quiet destruction. I used to think her confession ruined me, but the truth is, it saved me. It forced me to see that loyalty isn't proved by love alone. It's proved by honesty when no one's watching. And I'll never forget those 7 words. Not because they broke me, but because they freed me.